Hi. Good morning. Today is Friday the 13th actually. And I am gonna, I guess, try to vlog this weekend because I'm going to 2 concerts this weekend, but I also kind of wanted to talk to everybody about what's going on in my life a little bit. On Monday, I had to evacuate my house because of the bridge fire. So I haven't been like knitting or crocheting or really anything the past week. I wasn't really working on anything before, but sorry, I'm in line for Costco gas. So let's see. I haven't really had like the time or energy to be spending on working on any projects. And then, in the middle of the day on Monday, my neighbors knocked on my door, and the air quality had been really bad because the bridge fire, I think, started like Sunday. And yeah, they were preparing to evacuate us in the Mount Baldy village, which is where I live. So yeah, I had to evacuate my house. And now all of my knits and all of my yarn is in my car. My cats are staying with my parents. I'm basically sleeping in my high school bedroom for the time being. But this weekend I've had tickets to Glass Animals in San Diego for months now. And then we decided to see Hozier also in San Diego, basically at the same venue. So we're going to the same venue 2 nights in a row this weekend. I'm seeing Glass Animals tonight and Hozier tomorrow. So hopefully that's a good distraction for me while I wait for updates about, like whether or not I can go home anytime soon. Fortunately, my house is on the east side of the main road that goes through Mount Baldy, which the firefighters have been using as a fire break. And so far, I believe the fire has not jumped the road. Because my house is east of the road. It has not, I believe, been damaged by the bridge fire, but I do know that there are families, people in my, community that have fully lost their homes, which is really sad. So it's been a tense week, but hopefully this weekend can be a little bit better, a bit of a distraction. That's what I'm hoping for. So yeah, I'm about to drive 2 hours to go meet my sister, because my sister lives in North County, so I'm gonna stay with them this weekend and have a good time. I think we're gonna go to Gossip Grill, which is a lesbian bar in San Diego that my sister likes, so that hopefully will be a fun time. They've talked about it quite a lot, my sister, so I've been wanting to check that place out for a long time because my sister likes it so much. And yeah, I'm excited. I have been missing live music so bad, so this weekend is going to hopefully scratch my live music itch, especially because I just had to sell my Portola ticket, because I'm not gonna make it to San Francisco in 2 weeks with everything going on with my home. So so yeah, you know, we move, life goes on, even if you're a climate refugee, which is crazy to say about myself, to be honest. But yeah, I'm really hoping that there's not too much damage and there's not too much like ash and stuff inside my house, so that we can get it cleaned up and I can get back in there living there instead of with my parents sooner rather than later. You know? It's weird. I didn't think that at 27 I would be living in the same bedroom that I was at 17. Okay, I have to get gas. So. Getting a picture of it. Hi. Okay, so we're back in my car, obviously. It's Tuesday after Glass Animals weekend. I just am getting home from work. I'll show you guys what I got from the 99 Ranch Market. This is cantaloupe juice. Hold on. And then I got, this is all just for lunch, deep fried tofu with special sauce. These noodles, I've never had them before, but they look fancy. My favorite colors are yellow and green, so I saw this package and I was like, yes, please. And then green onion and cilantro. So yeah, this weekend was Glass Animals and then Hozier. I had a really, really great time at Glass Animals. I just love them. This is the second time I've seen them live. The first time I saw them was at Lightning in a Bottle in 2022, I want to say. So it's been a little while. I believe that the last time I saw them was when they were on tour with their Dreamland album. So they just put out that new album and now they're touring it, and it was a lot of fun. I am planning on putting like clips of videos I'm sorry, I did get a little sick over the weekend because I also recently started working in a preschool classroom. So I am going to be sick apparently on the regular while I work with these kids. So yeah, Glass Animals was really amazing. And then Hosier was awesome. I uh was pretty much sober for Glass Animals, but I drank a little bit for Hosier. The Hosier concert was packed. We saw both of these concerts were at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater in Chula Vista, California. So, Hosier is like, I guess, a much more popular, well-known artist. And the crowd was packed. We probably waited in line to park for like an hour for Hosier. But it was really great. That's the first time I've seen Hosier live. So it was a good time. It definitely scratched my live music itch. I needed that weekend. I unfortunately did start to feel a little sick on Friday night, and then it just kind of got worse on Saturday. Then I drove back home on Sunday. Also, unfortunately, I am still not able to get back up to my house that I had to evacuate a week ago from the bridge fire. So, as far as I know, it is still intact. It wasn't damaged or anything by the fire, because of the good firefighters and people that stayed up there to protect the neighborhood that I live in. I do know that there are people who lost their houses completely to the fire, in the little town that my house is in. But yeah, we're just kind of waiting it out. Another thing, I finished reading The Atlas Complex, which is the third book in the Atlas whatever series. I have to say, the third book was like all over the place, and hard to follow. It was, I think, written that way, but I'm glad I finished it. I'm glad it's done. I really liked the first book. The second book was interesting. The third book, the timeline hopping was confusing, and I didn't really know what was happening most of the time, but I made it through. I finished it. Thank God. Now I have to finish. Now I have to finish The Picture of Dorian Gray. I am 145 pages in, and I just need to sit down and finish it. It's not that long. I have been wanting to read more classics, and this is kind of my little foray into that. My attempt to be doing that, reading classics. Jeez. Even though really all I want to do is start Sunbringer, which is a sequel to Godkiller. I really liked Godkiller, so I'm hoping Sunbringer is good. Some lady's walking her dogs. She's got a doggies. But yeah, that's my little update, I guess. I really hope that the evacuation order is lifted soon, so that I can go up and assess what needs to be done to get my house livable again. I have heard that the power has been fixed, so it's not going to be like there's no power up there anymore. But it was out for a little while, so that means all of the food in my fridge and my freezer needs to get thrown away, which sucks. But we'll come back from it. We really will. Anyways, I'm gonna go inside and make myself lunch. Like, Hey, orange beet juice from Costco. This is what I'm drinking at the moment. Just straight out the bottle because I live by myself. And that's fine. So the last time we talked, I was sitting in my car telling you guys about what I was gonna make for lunch and also about how I was just kind of waiting for the evacuation order that my house was under to be lifted so that I could go back up here where I am now, so I could come back up here and like see my house, assess any damage or anything that happened from the bridge fire. As you can see, my house is perfectly fine, which I am so grateful for. The place that I'm filming from right now, my phone is on a ledge and there's a window behind it. Through the window, I could see a hill that, was completely burned, razed by the fire. So that kind of puts into perspective for me, just how close I came to losing this place that I have really come to love and has kept me safe for the past year and a half ish that I've been living here, year and 3/4 probably now. Yeah, so I think maybe a few hours after I recorded that last clip, the evacuation order was lifted to a warning. So with documentation, residents could come back up to check on their property and stuff. Some people did move back in. My parents didn't want me to until the evacuation was completely lifted, which did happen a day and a half ago, 2 days ago. But I have been coming back up since the evacuation order was lifted to a warning to clean the house and get it ready for me to move back in. After I'm done recording this, I'm gonna finish the last of my chores that I need to get done before I completely move back in. And yeah, that's a little update on the bridge fire evacuation situation that's going on. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, I don't have it with me now. Sorry, but I did finish The Picture of Dorian Gray. I didn't really like it that much. I am probably going to attempt reading classics until I figure out what I do actually like. But in the meantime, I have a few different books, to read through on my physical TBR. I have a Kindle as well. So on my Kindle, I am reading A Psalm for the Wild Built because I love Becky Chambers. So I want to read those. I want to read that and then the sequel to that. They're both novellas, so they're very short. I think the second one is called A Prayer for the Crown Shy. And then the physical book I am reading at the moment is Sunbringer, which is the sequel to Godkiller, the debut series by Hannah Kaner. These are Godkiller and Sunbringer are the kinds of books that I really, really love to read. An interesting magic system. There's a map in the front of the book. It's fantasy. A very, very diverse cast of characters. Um, the POV switching is a little annoying, but I get it. Um, I've seen some reviews for Sunbringer online saying that, like, n- at, not completely negative reviews, just like, I didn't like this because of this. Um, some people didn't like Sunbringer because the found family aspect was something they really liked in Godkiller, and that found family is not really together too much throughout Sunbringer. In fact, at the moment that at the part of the book that I am at, two of the main characters, two of the POV characters don't know that another one, actually three of the POV characters don't know that the fourth one is still alive even. Um which I don't think that I'm going to have a problem with the fact that they're not all together. I think that in order these for protagonists to come together to complete the mission that they're on, to make sure that there's not another, giant bloody god fueled war. I think that those characters need to go through their own personal development, and I think that's what's happening in this second book. So I think I'm gonna really enjoy it. I am already really looking forward to the third book, which I believe will be the conclusion of this story. Um, and I think that these three books are something that are going to be really special to me. I am proud of myself for working through my physical TBR because the Atlas complex was something that was sitting on my shelf that I had borrowed from my sister. It was sitting on my shelf for months while I was reading other things, but I'm working on not spending as much money on things that I don't absolutely need, and I don't absolutely need to buy physical books because I have like 3 or 4 that are waiting to be read on my shelf. So I'm trying to curb my consumption a little bit. So I'm proud of myself for reading through these books. I have been looking forward to reading Sunbringer for a while, ever since I finished Godkiller, to be honest, but I knew I was going to take a break between Godkiller and Sunbringer. Um, and then I just started listening to Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I'm not sure how I feel about it so far. I know people like high fantasy people, sci-fi people really like the Red Rising series, and I have hours on Spotify, so I'm listening to that just to kind of see how it goes. Um it's kind of I think I've been seeing reviews about it that have made me interested, but I'm not sure that I am going to be able to commit the time to reading a book a book with a male protagonist that was also written by a man. Does that make any sense? I really prioritize reading a female author. Um and also stories about women. So so yeah, I just started listening to Red Rising. Not sure how I feel about it so far. I literally just started listening to it today. But I need to get back to my chores, unfortunately. So I'm gonna finish that. I'm gonna move back into my house, and we'll talk to you guys later. Good morning. My hair looks dirty. I definitely need to wash it, but I'm about to go to the gym, so I'm gonna sweat and then I'm gonna take a shower. Regardless, I haven't picked up my camera in a few days, so I wanted to give a little like creative project update, I guess, because I had a new idea, which is exciting because while I was still at my parents' house, before the evacuation order was lifted, I was feeling very like down creatively. I still kind of am, at least with my knitting and crochet. There's not really anything I have really fun going on. I have a scrap blanket that I've been working on for a while, so I've been putting a lot of work in there, and I didn't really have like a knitting project. I kind of have socks. I don't know how they're gonna turn out. I'm not sure if I have enough yarn to make 2 socks of the socks that I want to make, so I've been not working on those. I did finish a pair of socks while I was at my parents' house, but again, they're scrap socks, and I made one whole sock with the scrap yarn and then like a half a second sock with the scrap yarn that I ran out of, so I continued knitting just with a different color of yarn. So those are an interesting pair of socks, but it's a full pair. I finished those. And then while I was at my parents' house, I had this idea to, my mom gave me this collection of cross-stitching patterns, mini masterpieces. And so like growing up, my grandma taught me how to cross stitch. My mom cross stitches. She made me, I gave her a book of patterns for Christmas a while ago because she loves gnomes. So she made me this cactus gnome that I need to hang up in this room. But so while I was at my parents' house, I have been inspired to cross stitch again, because I was bored and I wanted something new to work on that wasn't a granny stitch crochet square, which is the blanket that I'm working on. So I decided I wanted to work through this book of cross stitch patterns, because they're pretty small, and don't really take too long. So I want to make patches out of each of these patterns, and I think I'm gonna start with 5 for myself and see how the process goes, of making a tote bag, because I also really want to work on sewing projects, because I have had a sewing machine for a while but have not used it very much at all because it's scary. So I want to make a tote bag with the mini masterpieces patches that I make on it, kind of like a gallery wall. I just think that would be really cute. There's a whole bunch of little like finches flying by my window right now. Those little tweets you can hear. Oh, that was so cute. Oh my gosh. I love the birds up here. I'm glad they're still here after the fire destroyed everything that way. Everything this way out this window is like beautiful and perfect and as alive as it's ever been, but like from that side it's pretty devastating. So I finished this while I was at my parents' house. I still am working on the border. I found this, oh my gosh, Tiny. I think Tiny stole it. Where is my thread? It's on the ground. You're very naughty. Earlier while I was working on this, I had this just sitting on my desk, this thread that I'm using, this embroidery floss. And while she thought I wasn't paying attention, Tiny was on my desk and she grabbed it and she tried to run away with it because she obviously wants to play with string. So she's very naughty for doing that. But I found this in a while ago. Okay. I found that in a bucket, and my idea was to use like shiny thread because my mom had like shiny thread like that at home, but I didn't want to take from hers. I figured I would just buy some when I needed it, but I found that and it's kind of like a bronzy gold color. It's the DMC Antique Effects E436. Can we see that? Yeah. So, found that in a bucket of embroidery floss that I have that was gifted to me. So that's what I'm working on. I have this. I'm just working on the border of this. The painting is finished. And then this, which is on different Ida, smaller count Ida. It's going to be the cat with red fish. I think both of these are Matisse works. Cat with red fish is Matisse, and then yeah, the Icarus is Matisse as well. So those are both going to be going on my bags. And then, so while I was going through all my cross-stitching stuff, I found things that I had finished before when I was like obsessed with cross-stitching mid-pandemic, but like beginning mid-pandemic, like 2020. When I couldn't really do anything but like go to work and like hang out at my friends' houses, I was kind of obsessed with cross-stitching. So I had made this this I'm gonna give away to my friend that really loves Star Wars stuff. And then I made this, which was very easy. I made this. Wash your damn hands. Cute, huh? This, and this is all just my cat that bites racist people. This is all just stuff that I made and like hid away from me. Death's Head Moth with colorful wings. And this, the Empress, is a tarot card. And in finding these, I remember, like, I have been thinking about starting some kind of gallery wall in here. I don't know if it's gonna be there or on the wall behind my desk, like in the corner. Theoretically, I could do the whole thing, but I'm probably not going to. So, yes, I'm going to give this away, and I'm going to give this away to my friends. And then I'm gonna frame these ones, and then I'm gonna hang them with this, as well as these needlepoint things that my great grandma made and have been living in this house for a long time. So this is one. This is another. It's a bear, obviously. Because they're cabin themed. There are other pieces that have been needle pointed by, I believe, my great grandma, if not like women in her family. Let me see. I've got this stool that's flowers. This is needlepoint. Please ignore the whatever stain that is. This has just been here. So yeah, that's where I'm at creatively. I really need to get to the gym because I've been procrastinating going to the gym by working on this. And it's taken a lot longer than I thought because this is actually harder to work with than a regular thread because it's like basically plastic woven with regular floss, like shiny plastic. So it's kind of difficult to work with. So, you know, I'm gonna have fun with that. However, I do think the end product is gonna be really nice. And so I'm really excited to, I've never made patches out of anything that I've cross-stitched before, so I'm very excited to learn how to make the patches as well as learn how to sew a tote bag. So stay tuned for that. I believe I will be kind of vlogging this process a little bit, and then I also need to get started on knitting projects because I haven't been knitting in the past like 2 or 3 weeks, and I miss it. I feel like I'm in a slump knitting wise. I'm not in a reading slump. I'm about halfway through Sunbringer at the moment, and really excited to, I think the gang is gonna get back together soon, which is very exciting. And yeah, okay, I will talk to you all later. I do think that this is where my little vlog is gonna end, so thank you for watching, and goodbye.